let's talk about content. Most agents are not inconsistent or don't think about it or don't want to do more content. The reality is that most agents either, sometimes they don't know what to say. They have too many jobs, like they don't know how to record it. Don't know how to edit it. There's so many things like choosing a title, figuring out what to do next. So kind of that's been a conversation I've been having with a lot of agents. And the reality is what I'm hoping to do today is I want to show you a simple way to use AI as a content system, right? So have it, because you're the real estate expert. You're the one who knows the things and has your stories and has those things that come up. And so I don't want this AI content to just sound generic and for you to be putting things out to the world that aren't you, right? And that's the big part is people want to see you. They want to see that you're involved in what you do, right? And hear your stories. So, we want to make sure that we're doing that in the right way. And that's kind of where it's like you want to make it your own. So this whole content creator, these different jobs that I want to go through of how you can implement and get it where you're using AI to really help you get to that next level and, be in that spot with your content is the whole theme for today. So, let's talk about this, right? Because when I go through and talk with most people, a lot of times it's not that they don't have any ideas or that they don't have any experiences with things coming up, right? You meet with a buyer and you go through something, they have a question. That right there could be a piece of content. You have a story that happens, that could be a piece of content, right? The reality also is that most of the valuable content doesn't start with going to AI and saying, what should I do today? Boop, 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 right? It's very much of, what exactly did the buyers and sellers have a question about so you can help, right? Having it be focused on what they are asking so that you can have that out in the world in the right spot. It can be also very useful. I've seen a lot of agents who do their whole listing presentation, right, of explaining how to list a house and what the property is, and then they can use that even to send it over to get them that information, right? But where AI is most useful really is kind of getting it where you can get those extra sources. You can get the actual, like some of the notes or questions that you've heard and put it into a spot to help it kind of give you maybe a script on top of that. So you can kind of know more of what you want to say and then add your stories and stuff as needed. So, AI with no source material, with no stories, with no of your flavor added is just going to be generic content. It's not what YouTube wants. It's not what the world wants. They want to hear and learn from you, and you need to find the group who like you, right? So, AI with your real experience is what can help you create something useful. So how do we go about that? That's kind of what we're going to talk about. So if we go, right, I just saw just recently that YouTube, for example, changed a lot of how they look at your stuff, right? The game's always evolving and changing. So, platforms are something that you need to make sure that you're staying relevant on and having it so you can ask AI to help kind of in that part. So that means, the answer is not to try and speak to every person in every market and being too generic. The answer very much is for you to be useful for that one person or multiple, right, of who are looking for that one answer. So some bad examples, not, hey, this is my thoughts on the market. You'd want to be specific in talking about this is my, these are my thoughts on St. George, market for buyers who are doing this, right? Not, hey, here's the things that, 5 things that will help you here. It's going to be, hey, here's one specific workflow that will help you as a buyer to be able to find that right house and get this in this right spot. And we'll go through some specific examples at the end, but that's where you want to be specific because, being specific beats generic because the right person can recognize themselves in the title that you give because it's specific before they even click. That gives them that ability to want to enter in to understanding what's going on, right? So let's talk about the jobs. And this is where a lot of bottlenecks happen because when you have to come up with content and do things, AI can help you leverage certain things really well. And job number one needs to be you, because you are the source. You are the experience. You are the person with the local knowledge. You're the one who's hearing the client's questions. You are the one that people are wanting to hear from and learn from because people like you, right? It's just one of those things. Like if you look, we don't need to go into it, but yeah, right? Like they like you. And if some people don't like you, then the other people will, right? So be yourself. The next job number two, is having AI be your research assistant, right? Instead of going through and having to find all the stats and all the things, you can have it go and help you do that. So it can be like, hey, one great research tool, and I've told my agents this, is, if you wanted to go through and see what people are asking on Google, you could go into Gemini and say, hey, in the last 30 days, what are people in St. George, Utah researching about? You can make it in the right way, right? So that you can be ready for that. So the next one's one of my favorites. And this next job is the repurposing assistant. When you create one piece of good content, so if you create a YouTube video or if you have a story, the cool thing is you can now create that and put that into multiple spots. Have it so that if you give it your whole YouTube video, right? Have AI go through and now take it in your verbiage and using your words in your story, create a LinkedIn post, right? Have it go through and create an X, right? A Twitter. Have it go through and do that so then you can now repurpose that in different spots and it will change it for what you're wanting it to go into. So the nice thing is that's what I do. When I do one of these videos, right, or I do one piece of content, I go and I put it on multiple different platforms, but I have AI repurpose it for me. A lot of times I have my AI, go send it to different and multiple AI to get opinions as well, because they all have different opinions, right? It's nice to have multiple of the smartest people in the room. So, and the last job that I'd say of, hey, how do you have AI help you out is quality control, right? Have it go through and give you a review after you're done. Have it critique what you've done. Have it go through and, make sure that you didn't say anything that goes against some form of like fair housing or compliance boundaries, right? So that you can make sure that you're in the right spot, because you get to choose at the end of the day if you post it or not. But have it be where, have it look at it, have it review it. Is there anything that it caught that might help you now level up your game for that next time? So, because remember, AI is not the expert in your business. You are, right? AI is the assistant. Let me repeat that. AI is the assistant around your expertise. So let's go out and make it where, you have AI helping you make more content, repurpose the content, and do from that. So in a normal week, right, as a real estate agent, you help buyers, you help sellers, you have people asking you questions all the time, right? If you're calling your SOI, they're gonna ask you a question of what's going on. Those are great questions that you should jot down and then have your AI help you build content around that, right? It can be something that's funny, right? If that's kind of your character. It can be very much educational and you can help it where you get it out there, right? The biggest thing is use your stories and your life experiences to help in that way and put you in a good spot. So that's kind of going to be that big thing, right? How do you do this? What does it look like? Let's get it in that spot and have AI help you with that. Have it help you create what you should title it so that it has the right metadata. Have it so that it can help you with all of that and be in the right spot, right? And that's going to be kind of the big thing, right? Because you don't want to use AI if it makes you sound more generic. Don't go be like a lot of the AI slop out there, just creating stuff, not having your experiences, not have what you're doing, not have your part of that involved, right? When you go through and use it and have it be where you can then have your AI know what you want to do and what your end goal is and who you are, it will help it create content that is like you. And that's the whole goal, right, is making sure that we put the content out there, have it so that we are educating and helping people and helping that person that needs your help, needs your content in that way. So, to kind of wrap things up, really, it's what part of the content creation is the real bottleneck for you right now, right? Is it ideas? Is it the recording and editing? Is it the posting? Is it the knowing what is actually worth saying, right? What is the bottleneck that you need to use AI to help you with? And then how can you go use it to overcome that, right? Because you don't need to just become a content machine. You need a simple system that helps your real estate experience reach more people or reach the people that it needs to so you can help them. So go out, put yourself out there, go talk to the right people and use AI to help create the content.